John in Leeds. John, good evening.
Good evening, Daniel. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How can I help you, John?
So question for you. I'm a serving police officer at the moment, and in the execution of my duty after conducting a foot chase with a suspect, I jumped from a roof in order to detain him with a loaded shotgun. As a result of those injuries, I broke my back, broke my leg, tore my ACL, amongst many other injuries, which have, fortunately, I'm back at full duties, but I am not back to my full self yet. I made a claim through the Criminal Injuries Compensation Authority, which was rejected on the basis that I had not been pushed but had jumped after him. Therefore, he didn't directly cause the injuries to me. However, do I have a claim against my employer? Because I would not have been in that position if it weren't for me being in the course of my duty.
OK. How are you now, John?
I've been better, but I'm getting on.
OK. I know the answer to this, but I'm curious because I know that as a police officer you'll know quite a lot about the law. What do you think the answer is?
It's a hard one because I think criminally I agree with the decision that Seeker have made with the rationale that they've given, including their empathetic statement that they made to my personal circumstances. However, I feel that as an employer it's their duty also to, I don't know, be insured in some way against circumstances like these, because I've heard of colleagues who have also had similar injuries that have occurred throughout, different periods of aid or protests or things they've attended where they've been trodden by a horse or something of that nature, and broken bones where they have been compensated, or if they've been bitten or spat at, they get an automatic payout of, say, £500, for example. However, I've received absolutely no compensation for this whatsoever. OK.
I'm not going to comment on your colleagues' cases, but
Sure.
I don't think you have a civil claim as such, but there is another route. So let me tell you why you don't have a civil claim, then I'll tell you what the other route is. To have a civil claim against the police force, you'd have to show that the force was negligent. So, for example, they failed to equip you properly, or they failed to train you properly, or the police force ignored an obvious risk. Doesn't sound to me like that's the case, although I'm open to being persuaded otherwise. Fine. And you'd need to show they were negligent to have a claim directly against the force. They don't carry insurance against injuries on duty as such. But what there is, and this might be how colleagues who get spat at get money. I suspect it's a little more than spitting, but let's not go down that route. There's the Police Injury Benefit Scheme. Have you heard of that?
I have, yes.
OK, so that's something where if your injury is serious enough to reduce your earning capacity, you can claim under the Police Injury Benefit Scheme. It's not a lump sum. You get an extra monthly payment on top of your salary or your pension, depending on the level to which you're disabled. Now, you need medical assessments, but I suspect you've got those.
Correct.
And the process can, I'm afraid, really drag on, but it is the standard route for on-duty injuries, and I think it's your best chance. Have you looked into that one?
I have not, no. What was that called again, please?
It's called the Police Injury Benefit Scheme.
OK, I've just made a note of that. Thank you.
And for what it's worth, I agree with the fact that you agree with the Criminal Injuries Compensation Authority, which is that you shouldn't be getting compensation from them, because I know you know this, it's for other listeners. The Criminal Injuries Compensation Authority is there to give people compensation when they're victims of crime. You weren't the victim of a crime. As you said, he didn't push you off the roof. You were trying to arrest a criminal, but you weren't yourself the victim of a crime.
No, I mean, he had kicked and punched and scratched, but again, those level of injuries aren't
attributable to that.
Scheme.
Yeah. Good luck, John. Will you phone me and let me know what happens, or text me in the future and let me know what happens?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
And
thank you. Bye.
Thank you for doing a very, very difficult job.